Hi, I'm Scott from Christians Against Poverty, and if you think I have a charming northern Bradfordian accent, you would be right. I just wanted to start by saying a statistic that I think we put into the blog post that we sent, but there are 1.5 million people who are living in destitution and many millions more who are living in poverty, and that really sets the scene for what CAP are about. So CAP, Christians Against Poverty, was started in 1996 by John Kirkby, and he felt God was really challenging him to learn from his experience of being in debt and also his background in working in the financial sector to do something about the issue of poverty and in particular debt in this country. And so he set up a charity with a £10 donation, and he just went off and started trying to do debt counselling. And he was amazingly successful, really. And I should probably say at this point as well, if you, we have a book that details John's story in great detail and CAP as well, which is amazing, and I would definitely, if you want one, come and talk to any of us, we will definitely hook you up with that. And so he set off, he started doing the free debt counselling service, where we essentially work with individuals where they are in their debt process. We try and put together a budget, and we try and negotiate with their creditors and to set up an affordable repayment plan or work with them on other debt solutions if necessary. And we do this, he set out to do that. Today we have 300 debt centres running in local churches up and down the country, and 300 other group services running in churches. And every single one of those is designed to tackle one of the main UK causes of poverty in the UK. So we have the debt centres. We still do that. It's a very big part of who we are. See people released from debt through those. We also have see people trying to get them back into jobs and increase their income through our job clubs, help them get back into work, but also in a holistic sense, thinking about giving them a worth and a purpose and telling them they're worth something, which people who are unemployed often hear quite the opposite. We also have our life skills, which help people to live on a tight budget, and also learning essential skills like being able to cook well using a tight budget and other things along those lines. And finally, our Fresh Start courses, which are trying to help people who have life-affecting habits that are affecting their ability to operate well. And more importantly, through all this, actually, the thing that we're really, really passionate about is that each one of these people is connected into a local church, and that they see that the church is relevant to their needs, the things that they've got going on in their modern life, and also that they get an opportunity to hear about Jesus and they have an opportunity to experience life to the full and completely move away from where they were. And all that stuff, all those different services, we do all that, and we do it through the church. We don't want to burden those, so there's a big technology thing that runs behind each one of those services, which is where I fit in. So I'm part of the IT team at CAP, and I've been at CAP for 12 years, and through that time it's grown immensely, and we've had some great, amazing challenges along with that, and trying to build a service that really helps the church do what it does well, connecting with people, connecting with the church, with the local community, and doing evangelism. And we take on the burden of as much of that service as we can. CAP have been involved in Kingdom Code before. 2 years ago, we sponsored the build back then, and we had the privilege of just being in that space and seeing Christian technologists working to see the church and see poverty addressed in whatever way they could, all sorts of different ideas, all sorts of things going on. And it was just, I think more than anything, I personally was just massively impacted by seeing these groups of people all just single-mindedly using their skills, using their experience to try and see the church do something. Those two passions kind of colliding is exactly what Kingdom Code is about, and I absolutely loved it. I was amazingly passionate about it, and I love what James has done and where he's going. So off the back of that, last year's summer exhibition tours, we go to many of the Christian conferences and exhibit at them. And one of the things that one of the projects that was prototyped at the Build 2 years ago was a virtual reality living room in which we were trying to give a flavour, feel to people of what it's like to be living in debt and to experience that. So it was a living room, and the curtains were drawn, there was a phone ringing, there was a baby crying in the background, there's bills piled up on the table, there's a bang at the door as someone's trying to get their attention, and you can see them kind of moving behind the curtains. It was an amazingly impactful tool that came out of that hackathon, and it really opened up people to try and just the flavour of what it's like to live in that kind of state. And so it was really good, and we're back again because of how amazingly successful that was, with a slightly different challenge, but I'm even more excited to see what comes from it. So our challenge was, how might we resource your local church to serve and include the poor? And it really does encompass all that we're about here at CAP. It's all about the UK church, and it's all about tackling poverty in one sentence. And what we really want to think about is how you can come up with ideas for things that you know about your church. It's really about what things you know your church is struggling with, and what things it does that stop it being able to serve and include the poor. What kinds of things is it brilliant at and it needs just a bit more help, or it needs technology to really make it fly? What kinds of other things can technology do to make these two groups, the people who are struggling with poverty and the church, to discover each other and see that the church is an answer to the things that they're struggling with? And how can you use maybe technology to build lasting connections between these two groups? And I'd even encourage, really explore even what does poverty even mean? Are we just talking about financial poverty? Are we talking being isolated? Are we talking about loneliness? Really think as big as you can, anything that can be a way of connecting the church with the people and their real life difficulties and struggles that are going on around them. So yeah, we want you to think big. We want you to think how your church can connect with those needs. And even in the small, how can you do what's currently going on better with technology? And I'm really excited to see what comes out from this and what we get up to together. Thank you.
Thank you.